say the system is broken. But what if it's not? What if it's working exactly as it's designed to, just not for you? Think about it. Insecurity, poverty, corruption, over and over again, administration after administration. That's not failure, it's intentional. The system was built to protect itself, to serve a few, not many. It needs you to be poor enough to sell your votes, angry enough to fight your neighbors, tired enough to stop asking questions. The chaos isn't a mistake, it's a tool. Because if things really worked for everyone, the powerful lose control. So they keep the gates shut and the rest of us locked outside. So maybe the problem isn't that the system is broken. Maybe it's that we're not in it. And if we're not in it, we can't change it by standing outside. So what do? We show up, we organize, we stop waiting for miracles and start creating momentum. Because nothing, and again I say nothing changes until we stop playing by the rules that were never made for us. And nothing works for us until we build a system that actually includes us.
So we hear it said many times that the system is corrupt, or that corruption is part of the system. In fact, I recall the president saying that we cannot even, fight corruption, or we can only reduce it. But I have a different take when it comes to the system in terms of corruption. I don't think corruption is part of the system. I think corruption is the system in Nigeria. It is how the system works. It's how the governance system works. It's how the financial system works. It's how the whole developmental system works. It's even how the faith-based system works. And I say this as somebody who has been in, apart from government, I've not worked in the public sector in Nigeria. I've worked all my life in the private sector, but I've also spent quite a bit of time within the NGO sector. I've also spent, a bit of my time within the faith-based sector, and I can tell you, for a fact, that whatever system we hold today that we think is a system is actually run by corruption. That is a way of doing things that is not compliant with the way it should be done. And so it leaves you with a dilemma. And if you're somebody that is propelled by values, I spoke last week about my dad, training us as people who integrity is not just a buzzword, it's actually a way of life. And one of the realities I had to face, when I started my work life was the fact that if I was going to go on that path, my success would be long. My work will be long and all that, because there are certain things that you have to walk away from. I have walked away from certain jobs, good paying jobs, all right, within the system, because it compelled me to be corrupt. It compelled me to be corrupt. And I look at some of the people that work in that sphere, and I look at it and I ask myself, how can you work in this space and you actually say you're a man of integrity? By default, you cannot be. So the dilemma for you and I is, like you said, we cannot be outside the system, we have to be in the system. But if you have to be in the system, you have to accept to be corrupt in that system to be able to get something out of that system so that you can somehow change the system.
Okay, I'm busting my head though. I need to understand what you're saying. Are you saying that?
I know what you're saying.
The system is corrupt, so how do we change?
You go in there corrupt.
Yeah, so take the political system, for instance.
Yeah.
All right, the whole process of getting a candidate within the political system that we know today in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to be able to make change within the governance system in Nigeria, you have to get into the political system.
And how do you get in?
How do you get into that? Okay, you have to learn how to bribe. You have to learn how to, and so you have to accept that there's a certain level of corruption for you to do so that you can get in to be able to change the corruption and bring change. And that's where it's a dilemma for somebody like me to say, I don't want to be that. I don't have the capacity to be that, but that's what I need to be able to change the system.
I think you're spot on. Actually, your advocacy is concise but very spot on. I don't have much to say. For what you have just said, I think I'm going to say something that might not sit so well, but a part of me, very tiny parts, I might add.
20%.
Less than 20%.
This 20% will
That's the low one.
Don't worry, once you get to
Less than 20%, based on what he has just said, actually believed that if the present president wanted to change Nigeria, he can. Because to a large extent, let me leave it there, right?
Sure.
But yeah, so
hanging
spot on, like I
statement.
said, and for me, I had this realization, 5 years or 10 years ago, when I just realized that this system is just the way it's supposed to be. It's designed to frustrate you. It's designed to make you feel like you're not even part of the system. So the system is doing exactly what you want it to do. And I hear people say, oh, these leaders don't know what they are doing. They know what they're doing. They are very systematic, intentional, strategic, everything we have now. Because these people travel. Where do we want to see anything that we've traveled to that they have not gone to? They travel, they see everything, they see how systems work. They know what they can do, but it doesn't pay them to get it done. Most of the laws that we've advocated for on this table, at the end, we also agree that if they push it, it means that a lot of loopholes will be blocked and it will affect them as well.
Yes.
So I just want to say what you have said is spot on. There's nothing to add, there's nothing to remove. The system is working just the way they want it to work.
Kate?
My own is, you have said everything that needs to be said. It's so true. Your advocacy is spot on. But I feel it's time to turn the tables. Because we can't just keep going around like on a hamster's wheel, turning round and round. It's time to continually show up, speak up. More importantly, also to create your own ecosystem. You know, places where you find like minds doing good, helping, because you cannot wait for these people up there. Do your own good, and then hopefully it spreads out. It's not like Tunde, who is doing the chess. Who would think, chess in slums, who would think that those children there could actually be so brilliant? He has turned their minds away from drugs, which is ravaging young people today, to more intentional and taking them out of those spaces. And God bless him. You know, so if we have people like that, bit by bit, we have a community that becomes big. Oh, he's here. Yeah, bigger, and it becomes better. And then you have a critical mass that will change things. I know we are in a system that is rotten, and we know where we have people there who, if they choose to have the mindset to help the people, they will, but they're not interested. And you are so spot on. They want it to benefit them. I mean, how will you use your big car on me if we're all equally? The road was good. You didn't have to splash me water, you know. How will you when you arrive at the airport, you just breeze through? Me, I'm still queuing at the back there. If we're all, I mean, it won't make sense. I remember one incident meeting David Cameron. Easy. I went to go and see my daughter in school. This many years ago. I took a picture of that. I was going through the mall. Well, it's a 3-hour journey to Cheltenham. And I wanted a coffee. And there he was. Just turn him. I did a double take. I said, is this not the Prime Minister? My heart was beating. I said, should I go and meet him? And he was standing there. Trust me, there were security people. But you won't. The mall was not blocked. Everybody was going. Even his people were just going, hi, David. I'm like, hey, their leader. But you can see their security people with the earpiece standing miles apart from him. So I walked up to her, good afternoon, Mr. David. I'm Kate. And she said, oh, I'm from Nigeria. I said, oh, how are things? I'm like, so. With his Starbucks, he stood there. We took a picture. Asked me for the picture. It's on the internet. And I took a picture, and I walked away feeling like, oh, wow, that wasn't so bad after all. And you must connect with the people. After all, they are the ones you are serving. You're not there to serve yourself. I rest my case.
And one thing I'll tell you that he's even more secure than those ones that carry people that...
that's why they cannot come out on their own now.
They would have checked that whole mall before even him going there. But you see something for me, Bright, is that what is the system? I don't see system, I see people. And I think most times when we say the system is a problem, we take it away from the people who are actually in the system, who are causing the problem. System is just like your computer when they say garbage in, garbage out. It's the way you make the system, that's the way it is. And I think we need to start looking at these things and calling people within whatever system that they are and putting it right there at their table. For example, I'll say INEC. When people say INEC is a problem, I say INEC is not the problem. Neither is judiciary the problem. The people in INEC and the people in the judiciary and the people in police, wherever they are the problem. And so one thing that people do is, at the end of the day, is that they justify things. Oh, everybody is doing it. That's why you see, even in Nigeria, when you're doing the right thing, you are attacked more.
Yeah, you look as if you are mad.
Because it takes away that ability for them to say everybody is doing it. So why are you doing? Who do you want to prove you are the good one or the right one? And if you talk about politics, it will sadden you that people are not participating. I'm currently, like yesterday, I spent the better part of yesterday screening some candidates who want to run for council election in Abuja. I'm crying. Because the people who are there going to represent us are more ihad. But if you don't take part in it, nature aborts vacuum.
Yeah.
They will go in, they will do it. Yes, the system as it is, whatever it is we have, it's working because some people need the status quo for them to be able to survive. How are you going to make certain money so quickly if the system is working? You're doing business. We heard earlier, you know, the gentleman that said he sells rice.
Yeah.
I'm a trader. I've been trading since the year 2000. That's 25 years right now. A trader of rice, after you sell it, how much do you make? Very little percentage. But someone doing nothing, not employing anyone, we go and get a contract. And they will just supply this zoo. And they will get maybe like, let's say 70 million.